Okay, welcome everyone to our Coaches Lunch today. A big special thanks to PETA for being our sponsor. They're new this year, so we thank Teresa and her crew for providing lunch for us today. I guess my only news is really conference games start this Saturday. We will start our VIP hospitality. Things like that will be going on, so we'll get back in the full swing of things like we did before COVID. And hopefully that's a good experience for everybody. We're doing some things a little bit different, so we're trying to elevate the experience. So if you've donated to scholarships at a level of $500 and above, then we're gonna bring you in here and have more of hopefully an exclusive environment for our donors. So with that being said, I am going to bring up Eric first. He wanted to go first. He's got a student athlete that has class, so we'll get them going, and then Jerry, and then we have a special track camp. So here you go, Eric.
All right, thank you, Maria. First, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and get started with Kolten. I brought Kolten as my guest here today. Come on up, Kolten, and let him just talk about, a little bit about himself, and you all can get to know him a little bit. He's got class at 12:30, so we get him going. He can maybe get a bite of some pita there before he heads to class. Okay, so this is Kolten Mortensen.
Hello everyone. As he said, I'm Kolten Mortensen. I'm originally from a small town in Utah called Santaquin. I grew up there in the same house, born and raised my whole life. After high school, I went and served a mission for my church in Costa Rica. I lived in Costa Rica for 2 years. And then I went to junior college in Oregon for 2 years. So I am a little bit older than some of my other teammates because I did take the longer route. But then after my junior college, I had the opportunity to look for different schools and found this one. This one really caught my attention because of the academic side of things. Something I really looked into. I wasn't quite sure at the moment what I wanted to go into. And when I started talking to Coach Glenn here, I started looking into different careers through the school. First I talked to Dr. Kirk, who really helped me find an interest in industrial engineering, which is what I'm majoring in, industrial engineering and engineering management. It's something that really caught my interest and something I'm really excited to start a career in because it seems like a very cool degree and something that I really like doing. So, yeah, I don't know. What else?
Talk a little bit about your connection with your neighbors.
Oh yeah, so I grew up with some neighbors next to me my whole life. We're really good friends, probably friends with them. And my older sister is really good friends with one of their daughters, and she married somebody from Rapid City. And so he grew up in Rapid City, went and played baseball at a college in Utah, and that's how they met. And so also when I was getting recruited, I talked to him about Rapid City, and he had all good things to say. His parents sent me some Hard Rocker basketball stuff because they still live here in Rapid City, and they were excited when they found out that I had decided to come here. So they came to the school and bought some Hard Rocker basketball gear and sent it to me in the mail. So, yeah, I mean, it was just a really random connection, but something that was really cool to be able to talk with someone in person about it. Since when I was getting recruited here, it was a COVID year, so I really couldn't come, and I really couldn't see as much as a normal year you'd be able to. So, a very fortunate connection that I had.
What are some of your hobbies outside of basketball and now industrial engineering?
I really just enjoy the outdoors. I was big into snowboarding, like wakeboarding, anything with a board really. I grew up riding motorcycles and camping a lot. Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of toys growing up. That was one thing. I was fortunate with my parents. We had a lot of different motorcycles and boats and jet skis and that kind of stuff. So we used to do a lot of outdoor things of that nature. Yeah.
No more snowboarding now, right?
Yeah, I've been able to snowboard for a few years now, so.
Dr. Glenn won't let you do it.
Yeah, he won't let me do it. Yeah.
Obviously, you're a big threat in the paint for your opponents, but I'm curious, you're a tremendous outside shooter. So did that happen with time, or did you realize at some point in time, hey, I can shoot 2 long shots? Or worked on it real hard. How did you develop your ability to hit the three?
So I think it started when I was in high school, actually. I started playing basketball a little bit later in life, so I come from a football family. And so I didn't really start getting serious with basketball until I was in about 8th grade or 9th grade. And I just kind of decided that I'm not the most athletic person in the world, and so I had to find other routes to be able to score on my opponents, so that I was inside and then be able to shoot the outside shot as well, make them stretch it out. So luckily in my high school we had, similar to what we have here, is a gun. And so I shot a lot of shots through my 2 years, my junior and senior year of high school, and then to be able to develop that shot. And then I just continually kept trying to get as many shots as possible to keep getting better at that shot, because it's something that makes it very useful to have to stretch out their bigs and then also be able to post up and things. So.
Walk us through the end of the Shatter game last year here in the gym. How did was that all the last second shot? You drained a 3-pointer, if I'm remembering right. How did that all come about?
If I remember correctly, we just had called, I believe we called 5, which is just like a high ball screen. And then I was called to pop out for the 3-point shot because we were down by 2. But what had occurred is Ollie had come off and they had kind of guarded me, so he kept driving to Josiah in the corner. And I just kind of kept my spot. So when Josiah drove and kicked it to me, I just had an open look. And
did you know right away as soon as you let it go, it was going to go in?
Yeah, so that one just felt good. That one just was a good feeling shot, so I knew it was going to go in.
Coach was pretty confident too?
I think so. Yeah. I hope so. No.
Obviously, the results Saturday didn't go your way, but how did it feel to just be in the zone like that, especially early in the second half?
Yeah, it just felt like similar to that what I just talked about. All the shots felt really good on Saturday. They're coming off good and all falling. So obviously, yeah, like you said, it didn't end the way we wanted it to. But I mean, I feel like we played a lot better than we have. We got better. We were able to score offensively, which is important, and we're just keep getting better.
Anybody else? All right. So yeah, obviously Kolten had a big weekend, and obviously he's actually played really well through this whole stretch so far. He's done a really good job of getting an inside and outside for us offensively. He's been a really steady force for us on the offensive end. But also one of his biggest strengths that doesn't get talked a lot about is his ability to play offensive rebounds. He has a really good knack of finding the offensive boards, and he goes to the boards extremely hard. And I really credit his mom. His mom, from what I understand, really prods him after every game, whether he goes to the boards hard enough or not. So we can give her credit a little bit on that as well. So, it's been a while, I guess, since we've been here. We've played a few games, and during this stretch, for our team, we've actually played some really good basketball. We played some really good teams. The teams that we played in the non-conference had a 75% win percentage going into our conference weekend this past weekend. So all the teams we're playing are really good. We're really good, and that's by design. We like to play a good, strong non-conference schedule. I think it really gives us growth. Gives us an opportunity to, areas that are weak, maybe we don't necessarily catch against ourselves in practice, gets exposed a little bit. And so, each game has brought different types of, defensive schemes, different types of players to guard, and also for us, different types of, zone, whether it's zone offense, half play, or a man defense and stuff. So it's really helped us out, and all the teams that we played do resemble a lot of the teams we play in the RMAC. So it's been a really good non-conference for us. Record-wise, obviously, it's not quite what we wanted, and really that was attributed to the offensive end. We just had not been able to shoot the ball real well. And we have made a couple changes in our starting lineup going into this last weekend, and I think that helped us out a little bit. I think we got some guys in some spots that maybe helped them out a little bit better. One of them specifically is Keegan Smith. We moved him from a wing to a small forward, and he played basically our trail post spot this past weekend, and really had a terrific weekend. And so I think we maybe have found his niche and where he really belongs in our lineup. And he can definitely guard another forward. He's big enough and strong enough. But from an offensive standpoint, I think it fits into his skill sets probably a little bit better than we were trying to do at the wing. So that was a nice move for us. And so now we're trying to get another guard in there and working through the rotation. So we're kind of still figuring out some things with our team, and which is common this time of year. You know, even though you're playing conference games right now, it's very common to still. And I think as we watch some of the teams in our league, you can kind of see that happening across the board in our league, because we have a lot of new players in our league as well. So that's kind of one of the things that we're dealing with. But as Kolten led to, you know, the first half against Mines was kind of very similar to what we've been seeing. We just really struggled to score. You know, we got to set right up to, was it 14, I think, with about 8 minutes to go, and then we just couldn't score for the longest stretch in that first half. And, you know, credit us, even though it didn't feel like it, defensively we were still doing some good things and kept ourselves still within striking distance. And in the second half, we played better offensively, we just couldn't get over that hump to kind of break into that 20-point barrier that we had started with in the second half. But I really felt like we played a much better second half against Mines. And when we went back to the tape, we really even felt that much, even so afterwards. We just, like I said, we couldn't ever get over the hump of really breaking into that 20-point deficit and getting down to single digits. But, you know, offensively, we started clicking a little bit better. You can see things starting to happen a little better. And defensively, we did a really good job in the second half, just to continue to just keep going. You know, when you shoot the way we did in that first half and still, for the game, only give up 64 points, that's a pretty good effort for the defensive side. So we felt like we had some momentum, at least leaving that game, even though it didn't end the way we wanted going into the Regis game. And Regis had just beat Mines at Mines, which I don't think they have done that in a while. So that was a pretty big win for Regis. And to go into their place, we kind of knew, number one, they were going to press us, which we weren't too concerned about. We figured we could handle the press. We've seen it already this year. We did a really good job against the Kingsville team that does the same type of press. But they did affect Mines when they played Mines. And so, you know, that was definitely something we wanted to prepare for. And honestly, to start the game, it did probably speed us up a little too much, and we didn't get off to probably a great start against them. And we kind of got called a timeout. We just said, hey, we just need to take a deep breath, relax a little bit, and you know, from that point on, I think, you know, when we called that timeout, I think we were down 12, and I think the lead might have got to 15, and then we went on about a 28-9 run to end the half. And we really started clicking, and we ended up leading at halftime by 1. And so great credit to our guys, just to have great poise, just to hang in there. You know, it very easily could have been, well, here we go again. So I think you've seen some growth in that area from us. And so it was good, good feeling, going to halftime with a 1-point lead. It was going to be a really quality team in our league this year in Regis. They've got a ton of veteran guards. They've all played together for quite some time, and they've got one of our former guys that graduated from here in Troy Brady. He got an extra year, and unfortunately, in the end, in the second half, he was kind of a difference maker. He stuck a couple threes on us that ended up hurting late in the game. But you know, it was a heck of a battle, and I think it was a heck of a game. You know, you go back and watch it, and it was just so many plays made by both teams. Neither team very well in the second half stopped the other one. I think there's some really good offensive execution. Maybe a few defensive assignments that could be done better, but you know, players were making plays, and that was fun to watch when you see that on film. And so it was a heck of a game down the stretch. Unfortunately, they did have a player with about 37 seconds left. He got a steal, and was going to go up and probably try to dunk it, and he ended up blowing out a knee, I think. Which led to about a 45-minute delay to the game with 37 seconds to go. And so that was kind of an anticlimactic part of the game. I don't say that it necessarily affected us. I thought we had a couple great executions down the stretch. Got to the free throw line. Unfortunately, went 1 for 2 at the free throw line, which would have put us up 1 with 7 seconds to go. But ended up being tied. They missed a shot at the buzzer, and we went to overtime. And in the overtime, I thought it was a time again where we probably just lost a little bit of poise, hit a little bit of panic when they jumped out on a lead on us early. We did have a defensive breakdown on the very first possession, but after that, you know, they had a player make a great play, make a good shot, and then of course Troy hit a big 3 with you know, Kolten's right there on him, ends up hitting a 3 on us, late in the game. So after it was all said and done, free throws, you know, they ended up getting a 10-point win on us. But it was a heck of a game. And as I told the guys, I said, you know, last year, I think we're ahead of where we were last year at this time. Even though the results are basically the same, we ended up with 2 losses. But last year we came off this road trip and, you know, we lost by a total of 60 points between those 2 teams. And we were a lot closer this time. And so I really like where we're at, you know, as far as that goes. And it's for where we've been. There's a lot of good progress coming. Defense has been very solid. Our rebounding has been very good. And so we got to continue to keep those things going. And our offense, again, is starting to click. And like I said, I think maybe that's a tribute to the fact that what we've done to our lineup. I think that looks like that's helping us out. And so as we get more guys comfortable now with this new change in the lineup, I think we're just going to continue to see good offensive progress from our team. So going forward, you know, I think with Adams State coming in, again, very athletic team. They've got a few guys from last year. They do have some veteran guys that have been there for quite a few, I think their top player, I believe, is a 5th-year guy, Ryan O'Brien, heck of a shooter. He used to be just a shooter. He's really developed himself into a heck of an all-around player. He actually leads them in free throws now, and I wouldn't have thought he'd be that kind of player his freshman year. His freshman year was strictly a spot-up shooter, and now here he is leading his team in free throw attempts. So he's really become a complete player for them. They got good guys inside that can definitely score around the rim. They go to their post quite a bit, and so I think you're going to see 2 teams that are going to try to really attack the paint through their post. So we obviously do that, and they do the same. They got a little bit more athleticism on the wings. They'll attack on the wings as well. But we've played that before, and we'll be up to the challenge on that. And from the defensive side, you know, they're long, they're athletic, they can apply some pressure to you, more in the half court than the full court. And they do mix up the defense once in a while. They do play some 2-3 zone and stuff, but I definitely think they're a better team when they play man, because they've definitely got the players that can play really good man defense. So I think it's going to be a great game, and you're probably going to hear me say that all through the week, because when I look at how this first weekend turned out in the RMAC, it's an incredible parity across our league. So the teams that have traditionally been at the bottom, like the Colorado Christians and Chatham State, except both those teams are tremendously improved in their talent level. And I think the coaches are both doing a great job when you watch some of their games. And it's just, they both, you know, Christian did get 2 wins this weekend, but boy, did they play 2 really good games against 2 really good teams. And Chatham actually got a split. We only have 3 teams in the league that started out 2-0, which is pretty unusual for our league. And, you know, up the road, Black Hills got a couple wins, but boy, they could have easily lost both of those. They had to take some great performances from their top player, Joel Scott, to win those games. If they don't get that unbelievable performance, they probably don't get 2 wins. So I think the league is just going to be really, really tight. And there's really not a game where you say, hey, this game we should win. I think every game you just got to be ready to play well and play good, and let the wins and losses take care of themselves. Because if you don't show up to play, it's going to be a rough night for you. So other than that, any questions? Anything from anybody? All right. Well, look forward to seeing everybody Saturday afternoon. We're 2 and 4. And should be a great afternoon. I know the women's game is going to be a great one too. It's going to be a heck of a matchup, so we look forward to watching them and then get ready to go. And we'll see everybody there. Thank you.
Hey everybody, it's been a while. We've had a lot of things happening with our team since the last time we talked. I think the last time was right after we went down to Texas. And at that time, I think we were playing posts in guard positions, and now we're playing guards in post positions. So we've kind of had to switch up our lineup, like Coach Glenn mentioned. I'm not going to make excuses because we don't make excuses in our program. There's a reason we're a team, and everybody's got to step up. But we've had a lot of injuries that we've been dealing with, and injuries that we're monitoring, and then people having to play in positions that are not their normal positions. Like I said, we started Ryan Weiss on Saturday at the 4 position, which she did a great job. There was a couple times she's like, Coach, I don't know what I'm doing out here in this position. I'm like, oh, Ryan, just play basketball. You know how to do that. But we've had a lot of growth over the past month, and I saw a quote I guess it was a couple weeks ago. I don't know, time's kind of all blurred together now, but I saw it and it said heat makes impurities rise to the top. And we brought the heat in our schedule this year. When I made our schedule a year ago, I thought we'd have a full healthy team of 10 returners and 3 freshmen, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna do a tough schedule, play really good opponents, and then be ready for conference. Well, it's kind of biting us right now because they've been very tough opponents and we haven't been full strength. So, but like I said, we brought the heat and we've been able to address all the things that we need to work on and get rid of before conference play. And I think we've done a good job of continuing to grow, continuing to improve. We've had different people step up every single game. And Saturday, I think, was the best basketball we've played all season. And so that's something that's really encouraging for us. And I think our team got a lot of confidence from that. I think that was something that we were kind of struggling with as a group, was confidence. And I think we built a lot of that on Saturday against Regis. And now the big theme of this week is making sure that we're playing to win and not playing not to lose. And so playing without fear and just getting back to what Hard Rocker basketball is all about, playing hard, playing scrappy, and playing with a lot of heart and passion. And so we're getting there. So if you're discouraged, I promise you we're getting there. We're getting better every single day. And our girls are putting in the work, they're putting in the time, and they're staying together. And that's the biggest thing that we ask, is that they stay together through all of it. And that they pick up communication, because coach's voice dies every single game. But like I said, we're getting there. Like I said, we have a lot of people stepping up. This last weekend, we finally got Bailey Johnson back full force for us, and so she stepped up huge for us. And most of the time, we can count on Bailey to just be the feistiest, most tenacious defender out on the floor. And this weekend, she brought that, but she also brought a lot of offensive scoring power to us. And so we hope to keep rolling from there, keep building from there, and kind of like Coach Glenn said, just kind of find our flow offensively. And I think that's something that we've kind of struggled with different lineups every week. And I think we're getting to the point where we should be playing some pretty exciting, fun Hard Rocker basketball. We've got Adams State this week, and then the women's side, very similar to the men's side. There's teams this year that are really stepping up and playing a lot better than they have been. And Adams State is one of them. They've played a couple good opponents and they've gotten some wins, and so we're going to have to be ready to play on Saturday. And I think with a few days rest, we should be ready to go. With that being said, I want to bring up Bailey though, and I'll let her talk for a little bit. Bailey is, what year should we say you are? We don't know. Bailey has a lot of years left to be a Hard Rocker. That's all we know. With the COVID years and the redshirt years. But she's been a great addition to our team. For some of you, she's a local Rapid City girl, went to Central High School, and just a really great person for us to add to our program. She's everything we want with all the character and intangibles that she brings to the table. It's a perfect combination for our team. And so very lucky that she wanted to be a Hard Rocker so bad. She was our very first commit as a coaching staff, so a little special place in our heart for Bailey. But I'll let her talk a little bit about herself and the season and the team.
Hello, I'm Bailey Johnson. Like she said, I am from Rapid. I was born and raised here. I went to Central High School, played there. Out of high school, I went to Casper College in Wyoming. It's a JUCO. I played for an awesome program. We were nationally ranked. We were going to nationals. It was just like a really good experience. Out of high school, actually, I went on a visit here, and I was planning on going here. But I just didn't think going to a four-year school right off the bat out of high school was like for me personally. So I went to Casper College, and then thankfully, we got a new coach, and I was like, I told my coach at Casper, I was like, I really want to go to South Dakota Mines. Like, can you please talk to them for me? And he was like, oh, of course. And I was like, I've heard amazing things about the coach. So, and then Coach Sy, he was the assistant coach for another team that we played against, so he kind of knew how I played. And so, yeah, I got in contact with them, and I came on a visit, and I was like, yes, they are perfect for me. Like, I just loved everything about it. And then I just knew so many people here because my dad is also the vice president of the Alumni Center, Kara. And so I've always grown up being a Hard Rocker fan, like coming to the women's basketball camps and like all that stuff. So I went to Casper for 2 years. When I was a sophomore, in a game, I had the ball and I lost it, and so I dove for it, and at the same time the opponent dove for it too and just took out my shoulder, so I tore my labrum. So I was like, okay, I need to get surgery right away just so I could play for as long as I could. So then I got surgery, and so I redshirted that year as a sophomore, and I had already committed to South Dakota Mines. So then I came to South Dakota Mines, and it was COVID. So it was kind of different, and it was COVID first of all, and then like I had this whole season off, so it was getting me back into playing and everything. So and then I guess I'm a sophomore, but I'm actually like a senior in school, kind of. It's crazy. I don't even know what to say. Oh, my major, industrial engineering and engineering management. I came to South Dakota Mines wanting to be a civil engineer, and then I took the tour, and I was like, this is not what I want to do. Like, this is not what I am. And so I talked to Dr. Kirk, which is a really good friend of my dad's, and we sat down, and he just like gave me the whole spiel on industrial engineering, and I was like, this is what I want to do, because it deals with people. And I love just like talking with people and everything, so I'm an industrial engineer. Any questions?
Any questions for me? Okay, perfect. We hope to see you guys out on Saturday. 2 and 4 will set the tone for you, Coach Glenn. I know that that's usually something we try to do for each other, so we'll pick up our end. Now that we play double headers, but look forward to seeing everybody. Thank you, guys.
Okay, we have a couple more people to speak. Coach Steve Johnson is not able to be here today. So we had one of his student athletes step up to be in his place and talk about the indoor track up at Spearfish this weekend. Great kids, sits out here a lot and studies, so I've gotten to know him quite a bit, and a great personality. And of course, I'm a little biased because I'm an industrial engineer as well, and I think that those kids actually have some of the best personalities around here. So with that being said, come on up, Jade, okay? And if you talk about yourself and a little bit about the track program.
Hi, I'm Jade Cass. Like she said, I'm an industrial engineer. I had a very similar story to Bailey and Colt. My brother came here and graduated with his master's in civil engineering in 2012, so we actually knew some of the alumni, knew like Coach Glenn. He got me in contact with Dr. Kirk, and Dr. Kirk is definitely one of those people that can just kind of, he's a very social person, he's very convincing, and he definitely talked me into industrial engineering. And, now that I'm in it, I definitely say I love it, and I definitely say it's made for me. Well, like I said, my older brother went here, so I knew it was a good school. I grew up in Hereford, Colorado, which is just a small farm town. I grew up on a dairy, and we ran cattle, and my brother and my dad do construction now, so always kind of been like working with my hands. And kind of gave me a hardworking personality, and that's why I wanted to continue doing sports. In high school, I did football, basketball, track, but I definitely kind of drew towards track, just really enjoyed it, and I was a high jumper. I came up here in my first 2 years, I've been a high jumper, and then I got a new coach last year, and she kind of talked me into the HEP, which is, it's 7 events over 2 days. You start with, you have a couple sprints, you hurdle, you do a couple jumps, and I did my first one of those this last weekend, and I definitely struggled in my strong events, but I did better than I expected, and there were things I've never done before. I talked to Coach Johnson a little bit, and he wanted me to mention that We had 28 PRs, 30 top 5 finishes, 13 top 10 marks, and a school record at this meet, which was a really good start for us. And I can definitely say I'm in a similar situation with Bailey. I'm a junior in school. I'm only a freshman in sports, and this is the best sport, or like the best track and field team I've had since I've been here. I mean, we brought in a lot of good freshmen. We have a lot of returners that are like hardworking and are good and will be good. So I'd say we definitely have a lot to look forward to, and we just started a long season. Any questions?
What's your goal for the indoor season?
Qualify for conference and as many events as I can get, and I would like to hit the National Prolo, which the National Prolo is like, it's not guaranteed that you'll go to nationals, but it's gets you awful close. Thank you.
Afternoon, everybody. Appreciate everybody coming. I too think that if I would have decided to come to South Dakota Mines, that I would have been an industrial engineer. Just knowing Carter the way I know Carter, he probably would have talked me into that. I don't see myself being an electrical or a civil or anything other. I'm kind of a people person myself. Carter Kirk is truly a fantastic individual. A good friend of mine. Was always pestering me to play racquetball with him, and we made an appointment for tomorrow. Hopefully I won't have a heart attack during that. But no, he has really impacted a lot of lives in his 20-some years working at South Dakota Mines. A lot of the alumni that I meet who had any sort of affiliation with athletics all know who Carter is. And, you know, he's not just interested in the industrial engineer kids, he's interested in everybody's success. So Carter's fantastic, and we need to keep Carter around as long as we possibly can for everyone's benefit. I'm up here today, it's December, probably won't get to talk to you until after the New Year's again. We've got some really fantastic things in the pipeline that I can't quite share with everyone, but I assure you they're spectacular coming down the road. And at the beginning of the year, hopefully we'll be able to share all this really good news that we've got going on. You know, somebody might ask a question about what took place at the football game on November 13th. It was a very, very, very unfortunate incident. One where I failed to make sure that our incoming team was treated properly and safe. I've assured the RMAC, I'm assuring all of our fans and alumni and the community of Rapid City that will not happen again on our campus. It's tough. It's very tough for me to, very tough for me to just, figure out why that had to take place. I don't have hate in my heart like that. I don't have. I try to have as much empathy for people as I possibly can. And to say things like what were said is extremely disappointing. We're working to be better as an institution and as an athletic department, and that starts with me. And as I stated earlier, I'm assuring the RMAC that we're going to do everything in our power that type of behavior never happens again at one of our athletic events. So, on a positive side, we do have some fantastic things going, and I want to reiterate that. We've got great kids here, whether they're athletes or non-athletes. I truly believe everyone who gets a degree from here is gonna change the world in some way, shape, or form. And I absolutely love interacting with our student athletes and our coaches and staff at the institution. Does anybody have any questions for me individually? Yes, sir.
Are you gonna wear your Santa pajamas on Saturday again?
Probably not. They're a little warm. I might go to a secondhand store and see if I can find myself a Christmas sweater to represent. I do believe Santa's coming Saturday, right? So bring the kids, the grandkids, so that he knows what's on their list. Dave, make sure you bring your list for Santa. Saturday's gonna be fun. Matinee, 2 and 4, Santa Claus. And then we go away for a weekend, and then we're off for 10 some days. It's fast. The semester's almost over already. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, where's the top?
I don't believe so. I don't, do we? Oh, we
Yeah,
do?
There's gonna be a drop off.
There's gonna be a drop box, yes.
What's the rule? Not wrapped? I say not wrapped.
Yeah, not wrapped.
Not wrapped. Choice for Tots, 2 and 4. Santa will be there. Sounds like a fun afternoon.
Two wins.
2 wins, yes. 2 wins. It's a great day to be a Hard Rocker. Thank you.